Now at noon, another Clark County School District canceling classes. Teachers in La Center are on the picket line for a second straight day, while some workers in the Evergreen School District continue their own strike. Later, reaction from Oregon, Washington, and California after those three states come together to talk about new ways to handle vaccine guidelines.
We don't want to have any barriers, whether it's costs or based on restrictions that are coming down from the CDC.
Coming up, what a pact between these three states could mean for vaccine guidelines and local health care. Also ahead.
Football is back and it starts right here in Philadelphia. I'm Jay Gray. We'll have a look at the hype and the big game coming up from just outside the stadium.
And later here at noon, a fall tradition in Portland. Thousands of swifts filling in the skies above Chapman Elementary in northwest Portland. But in recent years, those birds haven't been showing up like they used to. What's behind the change? Coming up on KGW News at noon. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. I'm Drew Carney, and before we get to some of our local news headlines, we are talking about the NFL kicking off its new season tonight. It's the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles playing host to the Dallas Cowboys in a game you can see right here on KGW. NBC's Jay Gray is in Philly this afternoon with more on the league's season premiere.
It is game day in Philadelphia, kickoff of the NFL season, now just hours away, and we are outside the stadium where tonight they are going to raise the Super Bowl banner for the Philadelphia Eagles. The fans here still flying high after the Birds' big Super Bowl win. They've been out tailgating, getting ready for this game since last night, and so when kickoff gets here, they are going to be primed and ready to go. It's a big game, a rivalry game. The Eagles taking on their bitter rivals, the Cowboys, in an NFC East divisional battle. And this is one that it doesn't matter where the team's finished, where they are in the standings. These two teams just don't like each other, so you always see a tough go between these two teams. Perfect day for football. May see a little rain during the game, but right now it is wonderful. You can hear the tailgaters getting fired up as well. Look, the broadcast tonight, it comes with a bit of history, too. It's Thursday night, but it really kicks off the Sunday Night Football 20th anniversary season. And that first game, really a special game as far as the NFL is concerned. It was the Manning Bowl, the Colts and Giants, Peyton and Eli Manning squaring off. And it's the first and only time that brothers have been on opposite teams starting an NFL game. We won't see brothers tonight. In fact, there won't be much brotherly love, as they talk about here in Philadelphia on that field, but it should be a terrific way to start the NFL season. I'm Jay Gray in Philadelphia, NBC News.
Jay mentioned the tailgating there in Philadelphia. Some people were there at 4 o'clock this morning, East Coast time, for a game that doesn't start there until 8:20 tonight. Of course, that means 5:20 here locally. We've got it for you right here on KGW, and that means that we're shifting around some of our local newscasts this afternoon and this evening. We're going to have special editions of KGW News before the game at 3 o'clock, and then after it's over at 8:30. You can also watch KGW News at 4, 5, and 6 p.m., but only on our free streaming TV app, KGW+. All right, how about we get to Chris McGinnis now for a look at today's weather forecast. What do you have for us, Chris?
I'm going to take you up to Vancouver, our newest camera here from the Springs at the waterfront, and looking out across the Columbia River, we had some cloud cover and even a trace of rain at PDX earlier this morning. Clouds are thinning, the rain is out of here. It's a little hazy though. It's a little humid as well. Dew points in the 60s, certainly giving the air a little bit of a muggy feel to it right now. It's 72 at Pearson Airfield. It's also 72 last check at PDX, where the freezing level today early this morning was up around 13,000 feet. All right, here's a look at the visible satellite imagery. And again, we did have some showers pop right over the Cascades over portions of Multnomah, Skamania, and Clark County earlier this morning. The debris, clouds from those continue lifting to the north. And so the sky continuing to clear, but again, it's a bit on the hazy side out there. Some of that is even a little bit of wildfire smoke that has been drifting northward through the valley. There are those showers from earlier this morning. They're out of here, and the sky is clearing. So with that in mind, the temperature should shoot up pretty quickly. We're again in the low 70s, but within the next 2 hours, we'll be up to near 80. And then we still think we're eyeing temperatures in the upper 80s this afternoon. The Columbia River Gorge still under that excessive heat alert because of the temperatures in the mid-90s out there. But I think temperatures on the whole, will be cooling a bit as we go into our weekend. More on that and some rain chances coming up in my 7-day forecast. It's just a few.
All right, thank you, Chris. News headlines this half hour. An hour from now, striking workers in Vancouver's Evergreen School District will begin to vote on what the district says will be its final contract offer. These workers include paraeducators, bus drivers, and maintenance staff. Their union has already urged them to reject the district's offer. So we expect voting to continue until 7 o'clock tonight. And if the contract isn't approved, those union workers will be back on the picket line tomorrow. Evergreen students have already missed the first 7 days of the school year because of the strike. Tomorrow would be day number 8. We expect an update from the district about tomorrow's school day later this afternoon. Other kids in Southwest Washington also missing school this week because of a labor dispute. Teachers in the La Center School District are in the second day of their strike, and their union just returned to the bargaining table with district leaders a few moments ago. Thomas Schultz is live in La Center this afternoon. So Thomas, it sounds like this is about one key issue at this point.
Yeah, Drew, there's just one key issue remaining here, and these teachers behind us are striking for the first time in decades. The reason why? Money. They want their salaries to stay in line with other educators throughout Clark County. For a second day in a row, more than 100 teachers in La Center left class and hit the picket lines.
Right now, the fight is for a fair contract.
Many, like Brian Clegg, rallying for more money.
We are lowest paid in Clark County, and all we're asking for is our full cost of living.
Andrea Ostad is a middle school teacher in La Center. She says salaries need to go up to stay competitive.
We want to keep our young teachers, and if we continue to pay less than everybody else, they're going to go somewhere else.
How close are you on that last proposal right now?
Well, and that's the interesting part.
Peter Rosencrantz is the superintendent. He says the average La Center teacher makes around $94,000. The district has offered a wage hike in bargaining.
The tough discussion is trying to be financially prudent with our budget so that we can continue serving kids.
Rosencrantz says he's watched other Washington schools start to go bankrupt and worries state funding could become more unpredictable.
All we're trying to do is prevent that from happening in La Center. We're looking for long-term financial health of the district.
Making it challenging to plan ahead. And while school leaders prepare for more bargaining, teachers do too.
The negotiations are what negotiations are. Sometimes you reach agreement, sometimes you don't, and you keep working.
It's day by day. It's day by day. Yeah.
And you can see here that there are teachers striking all across these four corners right outside of the schools. Now, those bargaining teams just went back to the table at noon today. You can hear honking, of course, supporters of those teachers. There's going to be an update at 8 o'clock tonight from the district to determine whether school will be on or off again tomorrow. Drew.
All right, Thomas Schultz with the very latest for us there in La Center. All right, let's take a look at some of today's headlines from around the world. We start with this. At least 16 people died and dozens of others were hurt in Portugal after one of the trademark electric streetcars in the city of Lisbon came off its tracks and crashed into a building. You see some of the pictures from there. 5 of the injured are in critical condition. 21 other people were also reported injured in this crash. It's still not clear, though, what exactly went wrong. Iconic fashion designer Giorgio Armani has died at the age of 91. Armani had been sick for some time, forcing him to drop out of his own group's shows at the Men's Fashion Week event in Milan, Italy back in June. It was actually the first time in his career that Armani had missed one of his catwalk events. Israel and Hamas are talking about another possible ceasefire, although these two sides reportedly remain very far apart. Hamas says it's willing to free hostages and give up power in Gaza to a new Palestinian government, but Israel calls that offer unacceptable, insisting that Hamas step aside, Gaza be demilitarized, and Israel retain security control. French President Emmanuel Macron said today that 26 of Ukraine's allies have pledged to deploy troops as a, quote, reassurance force for the war-torn country once fighting ends in its conflict with Russia. Macron said the support would help guarantee Ukraine's security in the days after a ceasefire or peace deal is achieved. And that's a look at some of this afternoon's world headlines. The governors of Oregon, Washington, and California say they formed a West Coast Health Alliance. It's designed to give all 3 states more control over public health guidelines, and it comes in response to the Trump administration's handling of the CDC. That includes firing the CDC's director and 17 members of the Advisory Committee for Vaccine Practices and Policies. It also includes the FDA announcing restrictions about who can get the updated COVID vaccine.
We want people who want to get the vaccine to be able to get the vaccine. We don't want to have any barriers, whether it's costs or based on restrictions that are coming down from the CDC.
This 3-state alliance is still working to finalize the shared principles. They say that could take several weeks.